Just the mental and good-looking ones left. That's how we like it. Excellent. Good. You've still got a bit of energy left of you tonight. Give me a quick cheer. Hey, quite a lot of energy. That's all right. I've got none. I've been trying to get fit recently, right? I've hit 33. My metabolism started to go. You know what I mean? And it's all going downhill and stuff. So I started to cycle everywhere I go, right? And I found out this weird thing. When I'm on a bike, I hate pedestrians and I hate motorists, right? But if I'm on foot, I hate cyclists and I hate motorists. And when I'm driving, I hate cyclists and I hate pedestrians, right? And whatever form of transport I'm on, I fucking hate Danny Dyer. Do not know why that prick exists. Do not. Thank you, Fiona, very kind. You can come home with me if you want. I like that. Because I like doing comedy. It's quite nice to be here, even though we're all in this together. It's quite nice to be here. I can't really do anything else, right? I didn't really do very well at school. Give me a cheer if you did well at school. I knew it. Amazing, right? I didn't do very well at school. In fact, I had to let my GCSE English teacher sodomise me just to pass my English GCSE, right? Didn't even give me an A. He gave me a B. Marked down for incorrect use of a colon. So there's a real joke. That's either a bumming joke or a grammar joke, right? You lot, depending how clever you are, you lot have the bumming joke and just run with it. Good. Yeah, you're right. I'm going home to an empty flat tonight. My girlfriend's away at the moment, right? She goes travelling with her work a lot. And when she goes travelling, she goes, "Oh, are you going to miss me?" And I go, "Yeah, of course I'm going to miss you. My heart is going to pine until you return safely to me. Every cell in my body is going to beat its drum until you're back in my arms, right?" What I'm actually thinking is, yes, I'm going to play the Xbox for 25 hours straight. This is going to be amazing. But don't you worry. Oh, rung a bell. That's bad, isn't it? Well, no. All right, yeah. Wait for the next bit. Don't you worry. I will eat my 5 portions a day of meat, right? I'm finally going to be able to enjoy an orgasm without the indignity of company. We'll be doing that again fairly soon, I think. How long have you two been together? Trouble in paradise. I like it. How long have you been together? 12. Round of applause, 12 years, man. That's quite a lot of commitment. There's definitely blackmail material involved in that relationship because you are punching well above your weight. So I'm from Bath in the West Country originally, right? And all my mates from Bath settle down pretty young because that's what you do, isn't it? When you're from somewhere small, you give up, right? And they said, my mate, they're still really immature though. My mate Rob, he was getting married, and on the morning of his wedding, he went, "I can't believe I'm going to finally own a woman," right? That's not acceptable, right? But it's amazing. So they all settled down a while ago, right? And I fell in love about 3 years ago, and I thought, fine, people say, falling in love is brilliant, it's liberating, it's exhilarating, it sets you free, right? I found falling in love to be absolutely terrifying. For me, falling in love was like standing in between Vanessa Feltz and the buffet. Right? Somebody is going to get hurt in that equation. That's not a clever thing to do, right? Because the clue's in the terminology. Love is something you fall into. That's a hard thing. You don't glide or moonwalk or foxtrot. You fall, right? Here's some other things you fall into. Accidental conversations with racists, debt, dog shit, disrepair, life of crime on the path of moving bus. You will rarely fall into something that's going to go well for you, right? And I've got proof. I went back to Bath about 4 or 5 years ago. I watched this thing on HTV West, pretty much the best thing that's ever been on TV, right? This guy had designed a massive wooden catapult built specifically to hurl a human being through the air into a raised safety net about 100 feet away, right? And he decided to test this live on regional TV with an audience in the field on his fiancée. Fucking idiot, right? We know that, absolutely. It was amazing. He leant in to kiss her. She was strapped into the head of this thing, right? He leant in to kiss her, and you could see his eyes going, "If this works, I'm going to make millions of pounds," right? And you could see her eyes just going, "What the fuck?" But it was too late. It was amazing. He cut the cord, right? She goes, rockets through the air. She's about 50 foot in the air, with her arms and legs going everywhere, right? Going on a big up. And all the crowd, she goes, because they don't know if she's going to land in the safety net or not, right? But as she sort of reaches the apex of the flight and she starts to fall, they all relax and go, and breathe out, right, because she's on target and she lands exactly in the middle of the safety net, right? And everyone starts clapping and cheering prematurely because the safety net goes down to its full capacity, springs back out over the side, right? Amazing. She's rolling around on regional TV with about 200 people in the field, tears streaming down her face, screaming abuse at the man she was in love with a third of a second ago, with a shattered pelvis, right? That's how love ends. That's how love ends, right? That's the lesson. It's not though, actually, because I thought I remembered that, and I thought I want to talk about that in my set. So I looked it up to see if I just imagined it, if it was true, right? It's true, it's all on Wikipedia and YouTube, right? Doing a bit of research, she ended up married to John's ambulance man who attended her scene accident. It was amazing, they're still together, which is unusual, since they did meet when she was on the rebound. So, oh, snap that cheeky one in there, don't clap that, do not clap that, that is disgusting, that is the lowest form of joke, and you just had it right in your little face. Good, but like, love doesn't end in shattered pelvises, but what it does end, are you probably aware of this, is compromises, right? Does anyone have to make big compromises in a relationship? Yeah. There's a man who knows what's what. Like going out in public, that sort of. Yeah. I think you make quite a nice couple, although she was giving you evils. So I'm on your side for now, mate. Right?
It's my sister, anyway.
Is it? Oh, right, that is a compromise. Yeah. You stepped up to the plate. I like it. But like, you have to be really careful what you compromise with. Braintree, about the Braintree. I sense we might have a bit of rumble going at some point tonight. Do you two know each other?
Not yet.
No. Right, one of you will end up stabbed to death. Related? Right. Good. I'm glad you stopped me from going there, because that was about to get filthy. But you have to be careful what compromises you make, right? I made one tiny compromise recently, and I ended up on a yoga holiday, right? Nobody fucking wants that. It's ridiculous, right? My girlfriend said, oh, you have to come along. There'll be loads of boyfriends dragged along, right? You have to come. I went there, it was me and 29 women in various states of emotional disrepair, right? It was an estrogen holocaust, right? It was a very tough time for me. And in order to try and make it better, because I wasn't having a particularly good time, my girlfriend bought me a massage, right? I don't particularly like massages anyway, right? It's very important to my girlfriend that I'm good at giving them. I'm not good at giving them, right? She's always going, oh, can you feel my knots? I must have loads of knots in my back. Have I got loads of knots? I'm really stressed at work. And I have to go, oh yeah, you've got hundreds of knots in your back. Your back is so knotty, it feels like a sexy Hessian rug, right? I've got massive clumsy fingers. I've never felt a knot in anyone's back in my life, right? The only thing these fingers have ever genuinely felt is regret, right? It's bullshit. But so she bought me this massage. I don't really like, strangers touch me and all that stuff either. And we're in India, and I walked into this room, and there was a charming Indian bloke in there, and he said, hi, my name's Ralph. If you just want to take your clothes off and lie on the table, right? So I took my t-shirt off, and I took my shorts off, and I stood there in my pants, and he said, and those, unless you don't want to, right? He didn't give a shit what I did, but he put me in a bit of an awkward situation, because I thought, I don't want Ralph to think I've come over to India with like a colonialist, imperialistic attitude, and I'm refusing to do. Basically, I managed to convince myself that unless I showed Ralph my genitals, he would think I was a racist, right? Very weird stuff you can overthink, right? So I thought, right, I have to do it, but the question is how, because I don't just want to whop it. That makes it sound way too big, right? I don't just want to get it out and find there's been some form of miscommunication, because that's happened too many times already, right? I mean, that was a hell of a driving test. But neither do I want to pretend I'm really shy about it and like, do it all coy and turn my back to him and essentially present Ralph with a shabby cock tease, right? Because that's not fair. I mean, look, there's a disgusted face down there. I'm so sorry about putting that image in your head, right? So I just thought, right, man up, do it. So I took my clothes off and lay on the bench thing, and I thought, I'm glad I've done this. I've done the right thing. I'm glad I've chosen to spend this relaxing hour rigid with shame and self-loathing, because I am a Brit on holiday, right? And that's what I do. And I lay there for a bit, and it started to get quite nice. He massaged each individual toe, which was all right. And then he sort of worked his way around my ankle joint, and I was quite. And I started to forget that I was naked in front of a total stranger. And he started to do like my shin, and then my calf muscle, and my kneecap, and he worked the back of my kneecap. It was pretty good, right? Until he reached my thighs, right? And in order to fully access my inner thigh, Ralph had to flip my penis from thigh to thigh, right? You're a man of the world, mate, it's obvious. You have not lived until you've had a charming Indian man play swing ball with your cock. It is fucking amazing, right? But he put me in another quandary because I enjoyed it quite a lot. Right, as a bloke, right, quite often you have to struggle not to get erections in opportune moments. When you're on the bus, or when you're in a cinema, when you're at the zoo, right, all those sort of things, right? For me, we've sort of bonded now, so I'll tell you, for me, it's getting a head massage in the hairdressers. Is anyone like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Used to? Oh no! Don't tell me you've had a horrific illness, because that would take all the fun out of this joke. No, he hasn't. Right, good. Excellent, just went bald. Lovely. But I really like it, and you can still get a head massage without hair, so you can still get involved, but I can't have them that often, right?
Right.
You've tried. I will give you one in 10 minutes if you want, right? But I've had to cut down a bit because I enjoy them quite a lot, right? I was in the hairdressers recently and the girl was giving me a soapy head massage, and as she was doing that, she was telling me all the views on immigration, which were really racist, right? But as she was doing that, she was also pressing quite a nicely formed breast into the back of my head, and I found myself burdened in the direction that I didn't even morally agree with. Right? Weird times, man. But it's quite nice being in a relationship. You don't have to struggle, and as a bloke, you think, women have got it so easy. They just go out single and get any bloke they want and do whatever they want, right? But are there any single women in tonight? Don't know why I looked down there. I didn't mean anything. But are any single women in tonight? No. Good. All right, cool. But you might want to buy. She's getting looked at quite intensely down here. I won't direct this next bit at you because that'd be awkward. But I read this advice in More magazine recently for single women, right? And it made me think, actually, single women have got it pretty tough as well as single blokes. Because it said, ladies, if you're having trouble meeting the man of your dreams, here are 19 tips, right? No, there were 20. 19 of these tips made loads of sense to me. Tip number 20 terrified me. Tip number 20 said, ladies, if you're having trouble meeting the man of your dreams, before you go out on a night, simply dip a hand down below and smear it on your pulse points, right? That is disgusting. You can be single as long as you want, right? I go out, you meet a girl in a bar, you're quite interested, you lean in to have a slightly more intimate conversation with her and her face smells of gusset, right? I could only assume one of two things. Either she's had an amazing three-way lesbian pile-up, or she has been single long enough to think smearing vaginal secretions on the face like wallpaper before she leaves the house is acceptable, right? Either way, actually, I'll probably be in. Yeah, fuck it. But she's never going to meet my mum, let's be honest. Definitely not going to meet my dad. I'm going to leave you with a little, right, all that sort of stuff. It's all about perspective, I think. I learned a lesson about perspective recently, right? Doing gigs, you do loads of weird gigs and stuff. I did one for a charity recently, and the charity was one that weans newborn babies off of substances their parents are addicted to, right? Heavy duty shit, like that really puts addiction in perspective for me. Like for all your Charlie Sheens who go, I'm addicted to sex, or idiots at work who go, I'm addicted to chai soy milk vanilla lattes from Starbucks, right? Unless your baby is born instantly addicted to that same substance, you're just horny and you like complicated milk. That is the most I would give her. I was speaking to this woman after the gig and she said, well, my specific job... Police are coming, they've heard this punchline. I'm going to get out of there pretty quick. But I was talking to this woman and she said, my job is that I wean newborn babies off of crack cocaine, right? I thought, wow, like compared to what I do, going around the country, doing comedy clubs, meeting people, trying to make them laugh, your job is fucking easy. Do you know what I mean? Like, babies find it very hard to get their own crack. Just don't let them out of the incubator, they're going nowhere. They will never make it to Braintree on their own. You lot have been absolutely lovely. I've been Toby Brown. Have a brilliant night. Cheers.